You absolute bloody legends. Welcome back to FatChat. This is an absolute cracker, this episode. I can't wait for you guys to hear this. I've got Jack Crisp, who plays for Collingwood, and he has been one of the most consistent players in the whole AFL over a number of years. He's just notched up, the week just gone, his 200th consecutive game, and it was amazing hearing everything that goes into Jack's preparation, his professionalism, and all the little things and all the habits he's been stacking on all throughout his career to get him to the point that he is today. I think everybody's going to really take away some stuff from this one here, and I can't wait for you to hear it. We've got a little giveaway for this one as well. Make sure you keep listening to about halfway through the pod. There'll be a little break there somewhere for the passcode, and as always, if you haven't already, follow, subscribe, like, share around the FatChat episodes, tell your mates about it, get your mum, your dad, get everyone on bloody FatChat. It really goes a long way into building the pod. But without further ado, let's get into the ep with Jack. Here we go. Welcome back to another episode of FatChat. Now, I have got a massive guest for this trip. I've been looking forward to this one the entire time. He has played 199 games in a row, which is nuts. When I was looking this up, it was when I was doing all the prep for this, it was only 191. So we just added to that. How good. He's got his 200th consecutive game coming up this week. He plays for the Collingwood Football Club. He's the two-time best and fairest winner. Please welcome Jack Crisp. Mate, yes, mate. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
We've got the studio audience out here. My dad, who's a big Collingwood guy, was that excited for you coming in today.
Yeah, sweaty hands.
So, mate, I'm so lucky to have you in because a real big part of this podcast is talking everything about performance and getting the most out of your body and playing 200 games. Like, how the fuck do you do that? Like, that's just crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Something I'm quite proud of. And fingers crossed I can keep going until I finish football.
Absolutely. And the Pies this year and last year, and the last few years just building and absolutely buzzing. What's it like to play down Collingwood at the moment? Must just be super exciting.
Yeah, it is very exciting. It's definitely a position that we've never found ourselves in before, especially in my time anyway. But it's a very exciting place to be around. Lots of great energy at the club, lots of positivity, which we were embracing anyway. To make sure the place is somewhere where you go in to get better every day, not knowing whether you've won or lost on the weekend. So it definitely helps that you're winning to have a motivation.
Everyone's maybe happy when it's win.
No, it's great to see that we're playing exciting football. Everyone's enjoying it at the football club, but also we're bringing the supporters along, and then obviously people who don't like or never liked Collingwood as much, and enjoying watching it play. Yeah, so we're starting to become people's second favourite teams.
And it's the games are so close, they're so exciting, or particularly last year as well.
Yeah, glad they're not as close.
It's definitely, I think so. Again, me watching it, I have to show you some of the videos of Dad watching. He's going absolutely nuts. I thought he was going to have a heart attack at some point last year. So
the amount of messages we got last year, well, people, just random people walking the streets would just have to come up and say, mention their hearts. Yeah, they were just still kicking because of the games, which is great.
Exactly.
But,
well, we're going to go right into all that later on because I'd love to know what you've done, personally dealing with, those pressure situations in a game and all your preparation and what's changed and that sort of thing for you. But let's go right back to starting off with. So where did you grow up and how did you get into football?
Yeah, so grew up in a small country town called Myrtleford, northeast Victoria. Wonderful part of the world.
Yep.
Love getting back there in some breaks when I can.
How far is it from Melbourne?
It's about 3 hours, depending on where from Melbourne. So I live on the southeast side, so it takes me about 4 to get out there. But it's actually not too bad. It's nice, refreshing country air. Don't mind getting back there to relax a bit.
Great. And your family? So have you got your mum, dad?
Yeah, so mum and dad are still there. My wife's parents live just out of Myrtleford, half an hour out of there.
Did you guys meet in town?
We knew each other through like school sports and local football, netball kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so luckily we've got both families back there. So when we do go back there, it's worth our while.
So good that it's in the one the one town.
Yeah,
just go in and do all the
Christmas. We get to spend it both parents. We don't have to 1 year here, 1 year there, which is great.
Good.
But yeah, it's very nice. We love getting back there, a bit of fresh air.
And then who actually got you into football? Was your dad or your mum, or was your family right into sport?
Nah, definitely the old man. Yep. He loved his football growing up. Wasn't too bad. Played for Ovens and Murray a fair bit. And I think I've had a footy in my hands ever since I was a baby. Got a few photos. Everyone's got a photo as a baby with some kind of ball or sporting item, but that was me. Loved me Oz kick. Always on the dad of the footy. He was the one, and him and my pa were always taking me to all my footy games.
Yeah, great. And then what was your junior club that you were playing for? Or were you playing at school? Or how did it work?
Myrtleford doesn't have any school footy. Come on, my primary school had about 250 kids. High school was like 300. So But no, I played for Myrtleford growing up in the juniors. And then once it was under 15s, it was kind of the first part of the Murray Bushrangers in the NAB League.
Yep.
And 16s, Murray Bushrangers, 18s, Murray Bushrangers as well. And that's how I got picked up through there.
Yeah, great. And at what point was there a season that really stood out for you, like where you developed really quickly, or maybe you were bumped up an age group or two or something like that?
Well, being Myrtleford, I was always generally kind of the taller kid around there. So I used to play bloody ruck, centre half forward, just ruck rover. I played a bit of everything as a junior.
What do you want done?
But by the time I was coming towards 16 years, 17 years, everyone else had growth spurts and started to develop a bit more. So people started passing me. So I didn't have to play ruck anymore, which is good. There's a couple of big boys out there. So I developed into more of a midfielder stuff. So that's where I kind of developed more of my craft and happened to get picked up.
Yeah, for sure. And was running, because you're an elite runner, up and down now, was that always something that was like a strong point of your game?
Yeah.
Did that come later? Or?
No. I've always been quite a good runner and enjoyed running as a kid.
Yep.
I used to do little athletics from I think I was 8 or 9 years old. I told a story at the footy club once time. I think I might have told it with Tommy Sheridan on his podcast. Yeah. We used to run against each other and when we were 8 years old, 9 years old around Olympic Park when that was the running track. Did under 9s, won the gold. Under 9 state champ back in the day.
Beautiful.
800, 400. And then as I got a bit older, I did fair bit of cross country stuff as well. But yeah, I used to run a fair bit at home just in my own time. So I've always, quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, great. And then at what point did you think, all right, cool, I can maybe get it to a pro league here. I can get into the AFL. When did that sort of start to become maybe a bit of a possibility in reality for you?
Well, honestly, it's always been a dream. I remember writing it in my year 6 book at primary school.
Unreal.
Dream to play AFL.
Have you still got it?
I don't know. Mum probably got it. Somewhere. I remember writing it specifically in my head. It stuck with me the whole time. So lucky enough to be living out my childhood dream 12 years later.
Amazing.
But I was also playing a fair bit of basketball. But I wasn't getting picked for as much rep stuff for that.
Yep.
So I think it was about 16 where I just dropped that and focused on my football.
Yeah, great. And was there any games in juniors that you absolutely just tore it up? Like, was there games that you kicked 30 goals or something?
For Myrtleford, I wasn't too bad. I used to play all right and then kick a few snags. But when I was playing Murray, I was more in the midfield, which is good. Bottom age, so 17s, when I was 17-year-old, like bottom age and under 18s.
Yep.
I only played half the year. So worked my way into the bushies, but then I hurt my shoulder. I was out for 6 weeks. And then I played the finals for Myrtleford. And then on top age 18s, I had a good year for the Murray Bushrangers and I won our BNF that year, which was pretty cool. And that's probably what happened to get me drafted.
That's awesome. And then going to the draft now. So you got picked up in the rookie draft, number 40. Did you think that you were going to go in the first draft?
Yeah.
Or what did you think? Like, how did that all pan out?
I did. Because I did the draft combine. I think I met with 12 of the 6 or 12 of the 18 clubs.
You'd be thinking fucking great. If
Because apparently from what I was hearing, there's a lot of clubs that kind of rated me in like the top 30 or whatever it was. But so I watched the draft at my uncle's place. Dad couldn't watch it. He was too nervous. He literally sat in the car the whole time. Anyway, I didn't get picked up. I was very flat. 2 days later, I went up to schoolies with my mates for a week.
Good. The best way to get over it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I didn't book schoolies because I was, I had all my eggs in the basket getting drafted.
Yeah.
But mum and dad paid for me to go up there after, which was pretty cool. So I got to do that for a week. And then while I was up there, I was in talks with St Kilda about going. So after I was at schoolies for a week, flew straight to Melbourne, and then dad picked me up from Melbourne, and then I went and trained at St Kilda for a week.
Yep.
Hoping they would rookie me. There was a couple others they were training on as well.
So at that time, how far was the rookie draft up?
It was in December, yeah.
So
it was
so it was ages up.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's the next day or something now? Yeah.
Yeah, but like back then, so I literally had like a week and a half before Christmas break. So I was like the middle of December.
That whole time just sweating.
Yeah, so I missed out on national draft. Schoolies week after, I was training at St Kilda. And then it might have been like a full another week at home. So by the time the rookie draft was on, I was just playing Call of Duty at home.
Yeah.
Mum was watching on the iPad. Because all I did then was just following like a live blog and the names would just pop up.
Yeah.
Anyway, the name popped up. She came in, said I got drafted. And I was just like, yeah, I didn't know what to feel. I was pretty happy, but I was just like, I'm in the middle of a game of COD. I'll go back.
But also, it's probably just that build-up that just flat
almost. It was like a long month.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was a bit of a difficult time, but yeah, it was good.
And then say, for example, in that time that you were going, okay, cool, if I get drafted, great. If I don't, whatever. What was then going to be the plan if you didn't? Was there any plan if, like, were you going to play the next year or how you were going to...
I hadn't thought that far ahead, to be honest, but I had applied for a couple of unis down here, so I presumed I would either come down and study and work or in Melbourne or take a gap year, which a lot of my friends did in Myrtleford, took the gap year and just worked locally before they came to uni.
Yep.
So I probably could have just done the same thing and played footy for Myrtleford.
Yep.
But yeah, to be honest, I didn't think about that.
And then you move up to Brisbane. What was that move like for you? And what was it like rolling into the club, like early days? That was, 2013?
Into 2011.
2011, yep.
Yeah, so...
There would have been guns still.
December 2011. Tuesday was a draft. Friday Thursday I think I was flying up to Brizzy.
Yeah.
So I had like 2 days, go to fair bit on. Yeah, what I could. Anyway, I come up there, got picked up at the airport, straight to the club, and then, Michael Voss is a coach, meeting Simon Black, Jonathan Brown, probably two big dogs, Ash McGrath, David Merritt. They're the main ones that I knew.
Yep.
And then it all just kind of went very fast. Like we did one training on the Saturday morning, and then there's like a cricket day. The boys had groups play cricket, had some beers, which was pretty cool.
That's good, just to break the ice a little bit.
Yeah. And it was organised, but it was just the players only, which is pretty fun.
You any good?
No, I suck at that. I like play cricket.
Too many beers as well.
I got up to bat and Jonathan Brown says, come in. Fastest ball I've ever seen. I was shit scared. Anyway, I think I went out.
It would be taking no prisoners, John O'Brien.
I'm terrible at cricket. It was no good for me. And then Monday, I think we had a training camp, like straight into it, like the first to 4 years.
Wow.
And the older players did it the year before, but this was like still to this day, the hardest camp I've ever done in my life. Because it was just like 2.5 days of just like full, like
the preseason camp
taken by a special emergency response team at the time, and based around like kind of heavily what they do and team reliance, and then just like it was just the lack of sleep, like the middle. And
so how many days was it for?
Punish and like 2.5 days, but it was nuts because we were like wearing like just like white singlets that were numbered off 1 to 24, and we had to get in number order of like the second letter of our first name.
Oh God! So you're going maths.
Yeah, like my name's Jack, so it was A, and then if you had the same A with someone else, you got to go to the third letter. So my third letter was C, so I was number 1.
Yep.
And then that's how they referred to us. It was like number 1, number 2, blah blah. Yeah, it was like scary stuff. So I'm like always like, so they had to make it like scary at the start to kind of like fear, do all these things. But like the first long run, we had our big bags on with all our food and sleeping gear. I was like cramping my quad. It was like an 8K run with these.
When the quads start to go, when the quads start to go, there's not every step they're just jolted up like this. Oh my God!
But by the end of it, like they obviously a bit more fun and loosened up a bit. So it was just kind of like that team building stuff. And
do they still do those kind of camps? Because I've had like some of the guys that were like around getting drafted around the same sort of time as you, saying, oh yeah, they went and did all these crazy SAS ones, and you get put in a bus with no windows and all this shit like that. But I think it's kind of chilled out a bit.
There was 2 utes stuck in like a river. And they clearly had
stuck in a river. They put them there.
Put them there. And obviously, like, had the handbrake on, so you're never going to be able to move them. But it was all about like working as a team to try and move them and stuff like that. And then one of the blokes, Ryan Harwood, we went back out, and he's like, boys, what? They've got the handbrake on. We obviously can't move it. Let's just like pluck we can. And like one of the blokes that was running it, just standing in the shadows.
Oh no!
Like behind, he's like, "Who said that?" It's like, who the F said that? And I just looked at him, he's just like, heart sank. Oh, no. And then next thing you know, like the river's freezing. This is like 2 a.m. We're all linking arms, like doing laps in the water, like, that's the worst. Oh, it was terrible. But like, it was long 4 or 5 hours. Like we were just doing this team stuff in the water and trying to get the cars. And then,
That's full on. Fucking hell. That's awesome. Just comes out the camo, just from the back. Going up. Everyone's just like, oh no. Oh, that's so good. So then going into like your actual like team training where you start to train with, you know, Jonathan Brown, Michael Voss, the coach, Simon Black, all these guns. What was that like? Were you like, oh my gosh, I'm playing with these guys and
it's learning? So I got to play in the first NAB game. I think we played Gold Coast down there.
Yep.
And I was very happy. Like a couple of coaches like really rated me at the time as well, which is good. So I got to play the half, and I think I came on, was playing the wing, and I think I chased down David Swallow and got like a real nice tackle or something. It was great. Ended up making the paper back home. Mum and Dad still got that.
Excellent.
But it was just such a surreal moment. Like I remember running out, my legs were like real heavy, just like a bit nervous and stuff. And
the adrenaline, eh?
Yeah.
When the adrenaline goes,
you just get goosebumps, and your legs are heavy. I was like,
I don't have the experience of actually playing an AFL game, but the experience that I've got with adrenaline like that, I was at the Wildcats game, and they picked someone out to do the half-court shot.
Oh, you say that.
So like, we like knew the announcer guy, and he saw me, he's like, yeah, you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And he told me the start of the game, so I'm sitting there for 2 quarters, like this. Like, honestly, I couldn't tell you a thing that happened with that game. He's like, oh, come down, it's halftime. I stand up, my legs are lead. Like, they're just like, it felt like I'm just the lactic burn. I get on the court, everyone's clapping. There's 10,000 people at RAC Arena. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, fuck, middle of the court, go to shoot. And I reckon I've thrown it 5 meters. Like, it's like my arms were just dead. So I couldn't imagine what it's like going out and playing an actual game like that. That's crazy. And then the early days Brisbane, was there any games that like really stood out? How did your first actual in-season game come about? And was there any other ones that like stood out for you?
So yeah, I was on the rookie list at the time, and back then to be able to play senior footy, like another player to be placed on the long-term injury list.
Yep.
So at the time, Matthew Leuenberger had just done his Achilles. It was over out of Perth. They did that, so I didn't actually get to go there and dig a hole. But yeah, he snapped his Achilles. Then I found out, the next week after the main session, I was in the squad. And then, I was playing my first game. So I was great. Flew mum and dad up. It was against Gold Coast, a Q clash. Played all right, but I kicked 3 points.
Oh, could have been great. Oh, that's still awesome. Still helps the ball.
Listen to this. So one of my first point is on the video on YouTube for like the worst misses of all time.
Oh, no, what did you do? Step your scene, go. Yeah, set up.
Yeah, so the ball's just bobbled into the goal square. And I've come in like, yes, this is my moment. And I'm a left footer, but I've weared that with me, right?
Oh, mistake 1.
Yeah, it was like I didn't have time to like get the feet set. I was just like, going to wind up. And as I've kicked it, instead of the ball going, in the however the wide the goalposts are, this vicinity, it's just going boom, straight to the points. So it's going,
no. Was that your first kick too? Did you have a?
Nah, I had a couple of disposals before that, but that was my first opportunity to kick.
No, yeah. You're just building that all up in your head the whole time running, going, yes, here we go, time.
And I kicked another point. I was like, friggin' out.
Oh, you're joking.
So I think I had about 17, 18 touches, which
that's awesome.
This was a good first game, and then 3 points.
That's awesome. And then was there any other games that like really stood out? Brisbane days?
Probably
funny stories. Anyone you played on that was giving you a hard time, anything like that?
I think it was my second game. We played Geelong. It was torrential rain. Half of Gabba was underwater.
Yep.
But I remember I was running down the wing with Jimmy Bartell. And I was kind of like backpedaling a bit in front of him. And then I just remember looking at him, and he was just looking at me. He already had like a black eye, and he's just going to like scare me. I didn't flinch.
You didn't flinch.
I didn't flinch. I was just a bit like Kobe when they did the basketball.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Oh, what do you got? Is that all you got?
What are you doing, old man? I didn't say that, but I should have said it at the time. But I was just like, huh?
That's awesome.
I've still got that scene in my head yet.
That's awesome. And then when was like your breakthrough moment for Brisbane, or did that come a little bit later, do you reckon?
Yeah, well, a little bit later. Like I had a good first year. I played 10 games, which was good. I was quite happy with that. Second year, found it a bit tough. I had a good pre-season. Had a great intra-club. Got a court calf there in the intra-club. So I had like a week off training.
Love how you still went to feel the cork there. You went, oh yeah, of course. I still feel that.
Yeah. That was but anyway, I think as we were playing, I was coming back for a second practice game. But I didn't train that well, and you got dropped from training.
You got dropped.
Yeah, so I was playing in the morning with the team meeting, and then after training, they're like, "Yeah, you're not playing now. You didn't train very well." I was like, "Oh, rough." Yeah, I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
And anyway, it turns out I didn't end up getting another go for the seniors until like I'd worked my way in from twos form, like around 7 or 8, I think it was. So I had to buy my time there till then. And then I came in, we played Collingwood. That's funny enough.
Yeah.
Lost by 11 goals. Straight out again. I had to buy my time again, work my way in from form from the twos.
Yep.
We played Port and we just lost. I kicked a couple of goals. Thought I'd done enough, but I got dropped again. That was it for year 2.
You just couldn't get like a good run consistently.
No, not at all. And then, didn't play again till round 17, I think it was, in my third year when Leffer was coaching.
Yeah.
That's when I got my next opportunity, and then, I haven't missed since.
Yeah, and then you must have, like, I guess, towards the end of that Brisbane time and just being in and out of stuff, you must have just been going, all right, I need to get a bit of a fresh start, or what was the move like and how did that train?
Yeah,
so is that sort of the reasoning behind?
Yeah, needed a fresh start because after my first year was a 1-year deal, so I signed a 2-year deal.
Yep.
Second and third year Brizzy. But yeah, like halfway through the my third year where I still hadn't played senior footy, I was like, well, I think I might have to try and look for something else here. I'm not really getting a crack.
Yeah.
Want to try and go somewhere else with more opportunity. Had those conversations, and then I played the last 6 games at Brisbane, which was great. I actually played quite well, which was quite happy. It probably helped me get to where I am today with Collingwood. But yeah, that trade kind of came about. Nelly didn't have a trade happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think I missed a call from my manager saying, don't think there's a trade happening. So, because I had a deal on the table from Brisbane as well, which was good. So he said, yeah, you probably just take that. I was like, more than happy to, but I missed his call. After an hour, I called him back. So in that time, he's like, yeah,
we've done it. Yeah. We've done it.
I was like, what the hell?
So what was that? It was a big trade, wasn't it? It was Dane Beams involved with that trade.
Yeah.
Collingwood came out great from that one.
Yeah, and then what did I do? I think I had my 21st party that night that I had the call with my manager.
Yep.
I didn't think anything of it, like any media or whatever that stuff. But then one of my mates came up to me in the middle of my 21st party. So it's like a big picture of me and some article saying the missing piece. And I was like, nice.
Great.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sounds like you really take big news well. You're really excited when the big news comes through. And
I was more excited because I was having a good time on my party.
Oh, of course. Well, of course.
But yeah, so that was a Saturday night. And then on the Monday, I was down in Collingwood doing a screening.
Wow.
And then I think the Tuesday, the trade went through maybe. It might have been that Monday night, actually. I spoke to Bucks on the phone. I think he was in Bali at the time. And his first words to me were long time no see or long time no speak. And yeah, because he was under 16s Vic country coach and cut me.
What, you joking?
Back in the time, I said, man, and my response was, yeah, we haven't spoken since you cut me from 6.
And now you want me. Now through.
It was very funny. We've laughed about it a few times, but yeah, that was our first words.
That's amazing. That's so good.
It was very funny.
And then going to Collingwood, what was kind of the big difference between playing at Brisbane, playing at Collingwood in terms of how you've been used on the field, what the club was like, all that sort of thing, early days?
Well, yeah, so when I first got to Collingwood, my only goal was to play round 1 senior footy. So I had a relatively good preseason. And I was kind of getting like feedback of where I stood and stuff like that. So and
who was like the guys that were maybe in front of you, or not in front of you, but also in the team playing the same sort of spot?
I think I was training with the mids at the time, more of a winger role.
Yeah,
I can't quite remember, but so I was who was there at the time? So there was Penn was a seal, obviously there. Swanee was there. Yeah, I can't even try and think who was there.
They're all running behind you anyway. It's pretty hard to look at the guys that you're running.
Yeah, that was good. But I had great people to work with. And I knew Jamie Elliott because I played bushies with him and he was there. And I knew Tay through under 18s at country as well. So I knew a couple of guys, which is good. But it was very welcoming, and I was kind of taken aback by how humble everyone was, which was great. Being like obviously in the big, footy state of Victoria, it was pretty cool. But it was just, that fresh startup that I needed. So it was week 1, and then I was like, okay, let's keep going round 2, round 3, keep going, And I ended up having quite a good year, played a lot more mid, played run with roles, man, it ended up being the best move I could have made.
Great.
Yeah.
So good. And then throughout any of your time, Brisbane, Collingwood, whatever, who's like the hardest people that you've had to play on? Was there any times that someone was talking trash to you, anything like that? I love the trash talking ones.
Yeah, well, I'm not a trash talker.
You got the shaping up to Jimmy Bartell. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I chinned him. Nah, I just go about my business. I don't want people to bloody bully me.
Yeah, fair.
I'm more of a, let the footy do the talking kind of guy. Go in hard that way. But the people that I got to play on in that first year, Collingwood was pretty cool. So those run with roles, they weren't hard tagging roles for people that are listening. It's kind of like just kind of nullify them a little bit if you can, and then do your own job, play your own role, or play the way you want to play. So I got to play on Gerard, Gary Ablett, Nat Fife. I think I was playing Dusty a few times as well at the time.
That's yeah. Where are half of them now? Not playing anymore. Where am I? Still playing?
But yeah, it was cool. That was like all cool experiences. Joe Watson as well at the time. He was in peak performance. Sorry. It was just a number of different roles I got to play. But it was definitely helped my craft as a midfielder and a footballer. And helped pave my pathway at Collingwood.
Yeah, for sure. And the Collingwood success the whole time that you've been there, it's been really building. You had 2018 where you guys got to the grand final. It was a very successful year, and now you guys are building so great again. What was the 2018 experience like for you, and how has that, driven you to get back there, and how's that changed, your preparation for games and stuff?
Yeah, so my first 3 years at Collingwood, we didn't make the finals, so I think we might have just missed out 15, and then kind of like 1 win less 16, and maybe 1 win less against 17.
Yep.
I think we finished 13th from 2017. So the whole 2018 experience was quite full on and like really enjoyable. Like there was a lot of players at the footy club that hadn't been in that position before. Pendles and Steele, pretty much. So to have everyone riding the wave of playing great footy, going into finals, finishing top 4 for one as well, which is bloody amazing. It was great to be a part of. You could just see the excitement and enjoyment on everyone's faces and the way we were playing. It was, a very cool experience. Nothing I won't forget about it, especially grand final week when we made that. That was very cool.
Just all the hype and everything.
Just the people we had at training, the crowds was nuts.
Yep.
And we just walk out and everyone would be cheering and we're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
We're only training.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's not the game yet.
Well, don't you people have work?
Yes.
But yeah, that was all very cool. Even the parade was really cool. Got to have Lila on there. I was on there with Trevi Varco and he had his daughter, which was pretty cool.
Yep.
The whole experience was cool. Great build up. Unfortunately, didn't get the chockies in the end.
Were you happy with your game on the day? Well, not happy because of the loss, obviously, but in terms of your contribution?
Yeah, I thought I played all right, to be honest. We almost got the job done.
There is no one worse to lose to than West Coast. If you could have just lost to anybody else, it would have made me a little bit happier. But it just...
Yeah, well, that year I played my 100th game and we lost against West Coast as well at the G. That sucked.
That does suck. That really does suck. Fucking West Coast supporters. They're actually the worst. You don't spend much time in WA. You don't understand. They're the worst.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Don't.
So then now you've got Craig McRae, who's been in the last few seasons. What's he like to coach, to be coached by? Because it seems like everybody's really buying into everything that he's brought, and what he thinks made like the team gel so well since he's come in.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, the positive spin-off he can put on so many things, and the family element of the environment that he's created. I spoke earlier about if we've won or lost, you want to come in and be able to just get to work and try and get better no matter what the outcome was. I think it was the Western Bulldogs game last year. He was telling a story. Friday night, we lost by 50 points. They'd done a number on us. And he had umdenard over the weekend about how he was going to run the review. Spoke to a few of the coaches as well, but he ended up ultimately just going, no, let's just show all the positive stuff, He came in with a positive mindset and showed the good things that we'd done and the good things that we were doing so far in the year, because we'd had a few good games and a few bad ones at the time. I think it might have been 5-5 or 6-5, whatever. But yeah, that was the week we headed over to Perth and we started our 12-game win streak or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So it's just that type of effect that it can have on people.
Yep.
You know, because a lot of people, if you don't play well and you feel a lot of pressure on yourself from your performance or the outside noise that can weigh down on you, and people message you on Instagram, whatever it is, can take its toll on people.
Yep.
But yeah, the way the positive energy and positive mindset can change things and turn things around is unbelievable. And that's one of the major reasons I think that he's done so well at the footy club and created such a great environment where people want to come in, get better, people want to be involved in the club, people want to support us. And it's helping us create an exciting brand of football by the way we train, by the way we play. And it all comes back to what we do behind the closed doors.
Absolutely. Hey, legends, quick little break in the podcast here. Just to remind you, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, follow, and like any of the Fat Chat episodes that you've been listening to thus far. It really goes a long way into building the podcast, building the audience, getting bigger and better guests in each and every week. And I know your favourite as well. You can let me know what that favourite is at some point later on. The other little bit in this break here is we've got a signed Jack Crisp jersey to give away. And for all the details of how to win that one, make sure you go check out the posts on TikTok and Instagram, and they'll have the details as to how you get an entry into that. But the other important part is that you know the passcode, and the passcode for this one here, very important, is crispy. Write it down, put it in notes on your phone, make sure you got it. It's crispy. Let's get back to the podcast with Jack. Here we go. So playing your this week 200th game consecutively in a row, is that the AFL record? The Collingwood record, definitely.
Collingwood record. I broke the Collingwood record
ages ago.
No, a couple of weeks ago. Not the weekend before.
Yep.
Because I played the last 6 at Brisbane.
Yep.
So I played 193 for Collingwood now. 109 overall, yeah. So I passed Jock McHale's record of 191, which was set 106 years ago.
Wow.
Which I thought last week. Yeah. So, 2 days before the game, one of the people that works at the club told me it was a 106-year-old record that I was breaking this week. I was like, freaking hell, that's pretty cool.
So good.
Back from 1917 or something.
That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely nuts. And then, so this weekend I'll play 200 in a row, which I think it might be 5th or 6th on the list.
Yep.
But hopefully by the end of the year, I think it might be 3rd.
Yeah.
I think it's Uze or Goods. Or maybe... I think it's Gerard Crouch. I think it was.
We're not going to need to worry about it soon anyway.
Yeah,
they're going to be well behind.
Fingers crossed, because I'm signed for a couple more years. I need a couple more seasons to get through to get to number 1, which is Jim Steins at 244.
Unreal. So, like, in terms, what a big part of this podcast is about preparation and sort of habits and all that sort of thing that it really takes to excel in whatever my guess field of expertise is. So, in terms of like your habits that you do, let's start with maybe like a pre-season. What does maybe your pre-season look like the last couple of years and also all throughout your career? And what's maybe changed as you've progressed through in terms of like the habits that you've been doing?
So definitely now it's more heavily focused on body maintenance.
Yeah.
When you're younger, obviously your body recovers a lot faster. Yep. But 3 of the last 5 pre-seasons, I've actually had surgeries, or maybe 3 of the last 6. So dating back to 2018, So I think I hurt my back in the first game against West Coast in the final. We didn't scan that till after we'd finished, and I'd also had really sore hips that I'd been managing the couple of years as well going into that. So found out I had a stress fracture in my lower back. Turns out it's a bit like a cricket bowler injury, but I'd never played cricket, so that's not what I got.
Can't be that guy.
It's like right down the spine there, low. I forget what it's called, but right down real low. It's just fracture. So I didn't. And I had my hip surgery on my left side, the hip scope, so I didn't run for like 3 or 4 months.
Right.
So I didn't start running until like the middle of January, I think, when we came back after the Christmas break for pre-season then. Yep. End of 2019, I had a ankle arthroscope on my right, and then 2020, I didn't have anything. 2021, I had my right hip done, and then nothing last year as well. So I've had to manage a few different things over the last few years, but
it's pretty amazing that you've been able to manage it so well during the year, so that you can do that in the off season.
Yeah, so that's definitely helped. So like through the season and pre-seasons, like I'm heavily working with our physios and osteos and masseuses, and there's a lot of individual preparation that goes into all that.
Yeah, great.
And we've got someone that works behind the scenes with us, and Paula Bird Colt as well, that helps with a lot of those individual, like real focuses on the little itty gritty muscles that
as in terms of tightness and stuff like that?
No, just anything. Just in terms of like if you've got injuries or you're sore in places, like she can really narrow the focus down to like one individual muscle or whatever it is that you need to work on, and helps you like activate those and work on those, help strengthen the areas around it. And that.
So she a physio?
No, well, she's she still teaches ballet, so she's been heavily invested in ballet for a large portion of her life. And she's brought a lot of the tricks of the trade to the Collingwood Football Club, which has helped a lot of people as well. Yeah.
So you guys are all just hitting ballet. You got your legs.
Yeah, well, she's been at the club for 5-6 years now.
Amazing.
7 years. Yeah, and she like did heaps of work with Jamie Elliott when he's out with his back, and Darcy Moore with all his hammies.
So what are the sort of things that she's prescribing for, you know, in terms of exercises or things for you?
Well, for me, mine is heavily based around like hip and back maintenance now, and ankle mobility, just with obviously all the surgeries that I've had. But it's just maintaining that.
So it's more just like mobility exercises and that sort of thing? Or
yeah, a little bit. It's probably just more like you're making sure you're activating all the right muscles.
Yep.
Because if you're sore in one spot and then you don't get the muscles working properly, then you're going to be overloading on another spot.
So what are some of the things that she's going, okay, cool, if you want to activate this, try this, or think about this?
For the hip stuff, there's like a lot of TFL exercises or a lot of hip flexor stuff, and your glutes, your different parts of your glute that you're activating. And I'm doing heaps of foot stuff as well, where I'm walking on a stick just to massage the plantar fascia on my feet to loosen up. That helps release through the cast and soleus, and heaps of different slowly things that go into it. Yeah, it's worth it. But yeah, I wouldn't change that. So I've got heaps of prep that I do. Everyone's got their own individual program that they do pre-training, pre-game, to still part of their routine now, so they can.
Which I think is like such an important thing, because I work with quite a lot of like up and coming like people that are playing like the waffle level of football and that sort of thing, and development squads and whatever. And it's like you just got to tell them there's not like one program or one thing that works for everybody. You got to just try all your little individual things.
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone's got something they'll be their little niche or whatever you like to refer to it as. But it's not just your foam rollers and trigger balls anymore. Yeah, they definitely help still.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of different things you can look at with like little stretchy bands or I don't know, there's heaps of things. Heaps of things.
And then in terms of like at any point in your career, was there any skill side of stuff that you're like, all right, I need to really work on this? Were you given any feedback or any point that you needed to work on, kicking, goal kicking, marking, whatever the skill may be, and how did you actually do that?
Yeah.
Sort of reps were you put?
Yeah, there's been heaps. Like over my career, I've done the two major things that I probably put a lot more time into is ground balls and kicking. Yep. Even like Brisbane, I was probably more early days, looked a bit of technique stuff. But then there's been a lot of repetitions, like behind, like you do your training obviously, and you can get as much as you can out there. But then behind closed doors, there's a lot of work that goes into it as well. So at Collingwood, for example, we've got our sprung floor, which is perfect. And Tarkan Lockyer was a development coach there for a number of years. And I used to do a lot of kicking with him.
Yep.
And he set up a lot of different kicking exercises for a lot of people.
And this was, like you said, in addition to whatever your main sessions.
Yeah. So we do obviously stuff out in the Oval as a team and individual stuff out there. But now, when you got time, in Brisbane, it was like, you use your days off as well to go in there. But Collingwood was probably less on the days off, but more like in the afternoons when you got like in the middle of your treatment periods and all that jazz, you'd be on the sprung floor doing kicking, handballing, ground balling, whatever stuff you wanted to work on. So everyone was always tipping into their craft and trying to get better.
Yeah, great. And then in a session like that, was there like any particular amount of reps that you might do? So was it like, we're working with Tarkin, was it like, all right, cool, we do 50 of this, or you only did like a maximum amount of kicks?
It depends what you wanted to do. Like, because there's like a little basketball court in there, and sometimes you'd use the lines, like you'd first 1 to 5 straight ones on the line, or 5, like on both feet. So, could take you 10 kicks to get 5 and 5, or it could take you 100 kicks, because they're always curving off or going up.
So it's more like you had like an objective.
Kind of like targets. Session. Yeah, and then there was even like little games that get going on the big projector, the big white screen, then like the moving targets, and you kind of like off the rebound net roll and try to hit it so many times.
That's cool.
So you could work on every kind of kick. And all you could do is ground balls off on the sprung floor. You'd off the rebound net doing quick reaction stuff. A lot of different work that goes in behind the scenes.
I can imagine. That's unreal.
Yeah, it's all about working on your craft and so you can get better, obviously, and perform game day.
Definitely. And then during the year for your preparation for games and training, you mentioned lots of the little components just then. What does like a week look like for you? Is there some things that you go, okay, cool, every time before, the day before the game I do this, the day after the game I always do this, during the week I do this, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so generally every fortnight I'll probably book in for an hour-long myotherapy session outside the footy club, as well, because we get a lot of physio and all that jazz and massages at the footy club. But I think they are amazing for your body and recovery. So I'm heavily invested in like kind of that massage side of things.
Yep.
I feel like that really benefits myself. And then like 3 days out from a game, so a day before.
So that's every week, once a week, or more than once a week you do that? Just depends.
It depends if their schedule allows. It might be weekly, it might be fortnightly.
Yeah.
But weekly I'm doing a cryotherapy into a sauna.
You've been finding that's been helping?
Yeah, I started doing that.
I've been doing the ice baths.
Yeah, I started doing that weekly last year. I found that really, really helpful for me, and it's also a bit of me time to relax and sit in there, kind of soak in a bit.
I found that I sleep that good after doing sauna. And
I've been doing mine in the mornings though.
Oh, right. Shit. So you have to battle through the day, man. I crash. I'd like an hour after, I'm like buzzing. Yeah. I'm like this. And all of a sudden, I just go, bang.
Well, yeah, in our new house that we're building, and get a sauna in there. So
very nice.
I might try that before bed.
Very nice.
Might be nice.
That's awesome.
But saying that, I've got another kid on the way, so probably won't be good.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And then in terms of like nutrition side of things as well, is there anything that either that you consistently doing now, or at any period, did you try any, new diet things? Do you work on anything like that? Because you've obviously got a young family as well, which like when I'm working with my personal training clients, that's often the thing that's most tricky with the nutrition side of things, is balancing having kids around, and also doing what you need to do for your own nutrition. Yeah.
Now, like generally it's pretty good at home. Like I don't mind cooking, but I just kind of put a spin on the basic meals a little bit. Like just with your, say it's meat and veg and stuff, I like to pan fry my veggies and chuck a few different flavors in there here and there, or roast some stuff instead of just boiling the broccoli and carrot. But Michaela's not the biggest fan of just your basic meat and go. So sometimes she's having her own meal, I'm cooking mine, and then like the kids are a bit fussy here and there. So sometimes like if they're having sausages, then I can cook myself a nice steak. But sometimes they like complain about chicken, or they complain about something. I just can't please them. Yeah. So sometimes it's like cooking their meal, and
you're cooking fucking 5 things going on.
Yeah, like last night I had making some pasta because I know they're not going to eat our stir fry. Yeah, and we made stir fry, which was good. But it's not too bad. It's just probably once you get a good routine of it all. But they've definitely helped my eating time, I reckon. I was probably eating at like 7:30 back in the day, but
bit early now.
Yeah, like try to get the kids fed at between 6 and 6:30, and then I'll eat probably 6:30, and then like take them for a bath, get them ready for bed.
Do you take any supplements? Do you just have protein shakes?
Protein shakes at the footy club after gym, which is good. They're the only times I have those. My probiotics and zinc, and I occasionally have fish oil tablets, and there's one more. Well, I take collagen as well, which is good. I forget what my other tablet is.
And you've been doing that for a little while as well?
Yeah. Definitely helps as well.
Yeah, great. And then you were talking about the mentality side and sort of sports psych stuff that Craig McRae sort of brought in a little bit with being, really hammering on the positives of the week and the positives of what you're doing. What do you do personally in terms of mindfulness stuff and sports psych? Do you do any work with that to be so consistent?
Yeah, we've got a club psych, Jackie, who is works heavily at the club with us as divisions, mid, forwards, backs, and what we focus on as a group. And then she works with everyone individually as well, and the coaches about, like, obviously people at different stages in terms of how they can move on from mistakes or how they feel about different moments in games, and just kind of everyone's different mindset. So I've been working with her for last 4 or 5 years, even before she was at the footy club, just in terms of like off-field stuff as well. But just I feel like I've been able to move on from different things, like moments in games where you make, you stuff a kick out in the full, or you give away a free kick, or an umpire makes a bad decision. And actually everyone's done that really well. I think you probably see that as a team. We don't kind of carry on like that.
Well, there was that one with Braden Maynard where he kicked it out from full back, wasn't it? And he stuffed the kick up, and everyone was laughing. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no worries, next play. And then
so that's the kind of stuff we've gotten really good at. And they're the things that can help you win games and those close moments that we spoke about earlier as well. So it's just how you can move on and focus on what's next.
Is there any techniques that you use personally for that or have done previously? Like, is there visualization ones?
Yeah, kind of a bit of positive self-talk is always good for the individual. Like,
I found that one helps.
Next one, you got the next one, blah, blah. And then if you're finding yourself that you can't bring yourself out of that hole, so there's always trigger words that other people are talking about that relate to the game that might reset you as well.
Yep.
So I know the backs, for instance, like, as soon as the ball leaves the area, they're yelling out locate, so they can quickly kind of locate their bloke and set up defensively and stop in case it turns over. Yeah, so it's just a matter of switching from offense to defense as quick as you can.
Yep.
Because we don't want to turn one mistake into two mistakes and two mistakes into three mistakes.
Yep.
If we make that one mistake, we want to fix it as a team and get ourselves in the right space to go forward with what's happening next in the game.
Yeah, for sure. And do you wish that you kind of did that a little bit earlier? You said you'd done that the last, 5 or 6 seasons. Do you reckon that would have helped you early on for like development or anything like that? So,
yeah, all right, 100%.
Or you always were doing a little bit of stuff?
I think I've always found myself like I'm not too bad. Like I can kind of park things and move on and just keep
really, like you said, so important.
Yeah,
continuing.
There's obviously some other people can be quite different and find things very difficult and really get down themselves, and all of a sudden there's so much negativity being brought down, and you're stuck in a bit of a rut, and you don't know. You turn one mistake into two mistakes, and you can't get out, and then that's when these people around you can really help, and these kind of techniques are really beneficial for those times.
Definitely. And yourself personally, I mean, the Pies are flying this year. Team's going really well. But personally, have you been working on any specific goals for you? And what sort of things you've been doing to achieve those?
Goals. Honestly, just keen for the team success this year.
Yeah.
Like, we had a really great look at it last year. Ultimately fell short, but it was such an enjoyable year, and we'd kind of built the foundations of what we want to be, the footy club, and we're really going to another level so far this year, and it's fantastic to see. So that's I've happened to have some individual success the last couple of years in terms of the club BNF, which has been awesome. But this year's it's a whole lot different. I'm playing a bit of a different role as well. So everyone's coming along for the ride. We're playing some great team football. So it's probably the only goal for this year is to win a flag.
Absolutely. And then away from football, what do you do for fun? What are you doing? Just you're super busy with your family. You got two beautiful children right now. You got one more on the way. Super busy. What else do you do?
Yeah, well, we've been building a house the last few years, so it's a slow process, but we're getting there with that. So just kind of help out with that a little bit. Now we're getting ready for baby number 3.
Unreal.
I like to play golf when I can, which is.
Is that all right for the back? Maybe it's not. It's for the how you said how you got the thing in your back from cricket. Maybe it's from the golf back in the day.
Or I just have a shit technique in a couple of lessons. It's just suck though, but I find that it's just good to get out there, even though it's not good for my rage.
Man, I've never got into golf. I've gone down a driving range and stuff and just had a bit of a hit around, but I've never ever played around the golf ever.
It's good. It's good. After one hole,
I'm into like the one that the equivalent that I've got is I'm into fishing. So like same sort of thing. Like it's a frustrating. It's either a good day or a shit day. So, it's all
good fun. But other than that, I like going to the movies. I kind of hang out with the family a fair bit, to be honest. Well, now Lila's in school, I've had a bit more time this year, and Sloane gets looked after a couple of days, and kinder. That's the word I was looking for. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, great. And then have you got any other projects that you're working on? You're doing a little bit of a private football coaching as well, hey?
Yeah. Doing a little bit of that.
How's that been?
Thursdays. I've actually done nearly 20 sessions of that since I started. It's all right. Yeah, so I've had a few 10 and 12-year-olds book in for that. They really love it.
Right.
Yeah, just kind of that might be a step in the direction that I might go later in life, whether it be coaching or find myself doing some high-performance stuff. Because I've
definitely. You've done your PT course as well, hey?
Yeah. And I really found like all that high performance stuff kind of interesting because that's where I've found one of my strengths is.
I was going to say, I think from hearing everything you said today, like all the preparation, all the extras that you're putting in, all that balance with having it all, that's really hard. Like, not a lot of guys can do that, obviously, hence why you've played so many games in a row and so successful.
And especially with all the experience that I've had, obviously, people would love to learn and listen to that, so I think it could be definitely an avenue that I'll go down.
So people that want to get involved with that or check it out and like hit you up on socials for any questions, that sort of thing, where can they find you for all those?
It's on the Playbook Coach, the website there. Even if it's not football, like they do there's basketball coaches, there's netball, there's soccer, there's rugby, which is good. There's like any sport, people find whoever they want to be coached by that are on there, obviously, can do it. But yeah, other than that, it's just doing a bit of social media work with.
Right, I've been seeing all the videos, part of it. It's good. It's good content.
A lot of individual stuff, a lot of family stuff, which is great fun. Good. Girls are bloody funny as, and Mickey and I love sharing it with everybody because it's just sometimes you just go freaking hell, it's so funny. Like, can't just be us laughing.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's always good when other people are vibing with what you're laughing with. Yeah, funny.
So I think Mickey and I are going to start YouTube vlogging, and we'll continue on.
Have you got a channel at the moment?
Yeah, because I made one in 2020 in the hub when I was doing the hub vlogs.
Yes.
I think it's still on there as Crispy's Crew at the moment.
We'll chuck them up. We'll tag it on.
Go give it a follow. But we're going to change the name from Crispy's Crew, I think, though. But it's still there.
Yeah, and then for any like junior players that are playing the similar sort of position to you, what's like a couple little tips or takeaways that they could get from you?
Junior guys, I'd say just keep playing as many sports as you can, to be honest, because a lot of those different sports help you develop along the way with different attributes. For me, I played a lot of basketball and football mainly, but the basketball I felt like helps with a bit of like spatial awareness and the peripheral vision and quick hands, just feeling the footy stuff. But yeah, like when you get to play with your mates and have a great time. 2, it's a team sport and you all get to do it together and really enjoy it, highs and lows. And then 3, the attributes that you can gain from all those different sports.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Well, we're going to do a giveaway as well as part of this podcast. I've got a jersey in front of us. We're going to get a big Jack Chris signature right over the biggest one you've ever done, huge big one. And we're going to do it. We're going to do a giveaway. So make sure you go check out the posts on all the socials to work out how you're going to win that one there. Make sure you go follow Jack on Insta, on YouTube, on TikTok as well. We're going to do it all. We're going to tag all of them. We're going to get them absolutely pumping. But mate, thank you so much for coming and doing the pod.
Pleasure.
So good to hear all of that. You're an absolute pro, and it was amazing to hear all of that. There's going to be a lot of people that take lots away from that. So thanks very much, and good luck for the year. Let's go. Hope you get a flag.
Go Pies.
Go Pies. And that's another episode of Fat Chat all wrapped up. Thanks so much for tuning on in. I can't wait for another episode next week. You're absolute bloody legends for following along. Just a reminder to follow, subscribe, like, do all the good things for me. And owe you a favor, make sure you let me know what those favors are. And also, if you're wanting to know anything more about my personal training services, my online platform, and how I can help you achieve any of your workout goals, whether it's to lose weight, gain some muscle, get better at whatever sport it is, head to www.bodymagic.fit. We've got all the packages up there. If you want to know anything more about it, feel free to hit me up on email, socials, anything, and I'll make sure I get back to you and we can get you bloody on track and get a bit of body magic about you. But love your work, guys, and for all the giveaways, make sure you head to socials to check out how you can be in the entry for those. Love your work, guys. I'll see you next week.